What's up? It's your boy Rob Young, and welcome to OnSight.
Rob Young, appreciate you for coming out and doing the segment with us today.
Glad to be here, man. Definitely following the movement, and I like what you guys are doing, and I just want to be a part of it, and also get the word out about projects that I'm working on. So this was a win-win for everybody, I think.
This is definitely a win-win for everybody, and we needed you on the show because we did an unofficial. Me and Jonathan did an unofficial episode on Facebook to where I gave you a lot of love because it's a lot of people that might not know. You were like the godfather of hip hop in the Sanford area. I don't think it's too many people that really know how deep you go back.
Yeah, it's probably not a lot of people. Yeah, man. I mean, I started out with Campside Records
Yes, let's go there.
back in
Let's go
2000.
there.
Chills Mental.
Collabo.
Yeah, Chills Mental Collab.
Oh my
Campside,
gosh.
Cash Rules.
That was a whole movement in the early 2000s.
Definitely. We had a roster that was unbelievable. And we were just trying to put out some great music, and we did a lot of great work, had a lot of things going on, and it just it was definitely a movement, and it was something that I was proud to be a part of, and proud to be from the Santrap. And some of the artists on the roster weren't from there, but they called it home, and
Right.
we made it. It was a Santrap movement. So, and we actually came up. I think it was Boogie that came up with the phrase Santrap. So yeah, that's where we kind of started that.
Dope. See, dropping gems already. Gotta come to OnSight to get these. Okay. So early 2000s. So we talking 20 years deep in the game.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe the music that you create?
I would say it's soul music. I'm definitely heavily soul influenced. Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Teddy Pendergrass, Isaac Hayes. I'm super soul influenced. And I'm a retro guy. Like I go back. Like see, I got the Fela on.
Dope.
I listen to this and I absorb all this music because it is what it's what I hear when I'm not listening to music.
Right,
So,
right.
it's only like right that I create that. So at the end of the day, I'm just trying to create what's in my head, and that's usually what comes out. Like no matter how hard I try, like I can't get away from it. Try the trap thing and doing all that, but it's just not me. So again, I just try to create what's in my head, and usually it comes out, a soulful vibe, whether it's up tempo, mid tempo, ballad. It's usually heavily soul influenced. So that's where I am.
So what is your creative process like? But let me break it down. Like from what is your creative process like when you're producing, and then what is your creative process when you're actually writing?
Okay. I kind of stepped away from producing. I don't produce as much. I still do produce.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's been for like 5 years, probably maybe more than 5 years. But I kind of stepped away from that because there's a lot of dope producers out there. And a lot of everybody has access to beats these days. You can find them anywhere. You can probably
True
go outside
indeed.
and find one under a rock. But so I kind of stepped away because I can access these beats and move at a faster pace. Not that I really have to, but it just allows me to create more on the writing side, arranging side, and developing other artists as well. So uh production to me can be tedious because I'm a perfectionist. I
Mm-hmm.
look for a sound for a week, and if I don't find the right sound, and I'm trashing the beat. So I just don't have time to do that anymore. So I started writing, but I'm all over the place creatively in terms of process. But in the end, it's usually musicality first. So I try to get the beat first, and then go from there. And I'm not one of these guys who thinks I get it right the first time. I'll work on a song for a month. I worked on a song for 6 months. I recorded 8 different ways. So for me, it's a complete process. It's like I don't think I've ever done one take on anything. And it's not that I can't, it's that I always think I can improve on what I've done.
Right.
And the more you have, the more you have to work with. But the less you have, like if you don't have enough, then you got to keep trying to put into it. So I've done. I know one song I was working on with the artist, and I think we did 30 mixes of that song.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? It's just a process. And as an artist, like when I'm working with other artists, they have to understand that it's a process too. Because I have a lot of people who come in, oh, let me lay this down, and they'll lay it down one time. I'm done. Oh, you done? Oh, okay. And then, maybe 6 months later, man, I wish I would have done this. I'll do it before.
Right.
So that you have that, material to use. And, so I'm just, that's where I am creatively. I just like to have the most I can possibly have before I even get to, move on to the next step.
Okay, so I just want to back up for a second because you said when it comes to your production, if you can't find a sound that you might scrap the beat, but you'll write a song for a month. Why would you scrap the beat? Like you're networked with a lot of producers, a lot of these cats that have been inspired by you, like from my area, Scalding Beats and T Wheel. So why not network with the producers? Like, because we know the industry does that.
Right.
If Kanye can't find the sound, he gonna send that joint to Tim.
Right.
Tim, finish this up for me.
I have done that. I actually I found a sample that I want to use, and I sent it to Scalding because I was like, dude, I know you can do this, more justice than I can, and the song is gonna be ridiculous on a lot of different levels. So I said, I'm gonna send this to you. In terms of like scrapping the beat, scrap is probably a harsh word. So what?
Yes, I agree. Scrap is a harsh word.
Yeah, I'll shelf it. And 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna come back to it. Cause what also happens sometimes is I'll be looking for a sound. I can't find the sound. So I shelf the beat, then I'm working on another beat and I find the sound. I'm like, that's the sound I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go back to it and, continue on with that. But I'm definitely I'm ADD when it comes to making beats because I will start in my brain, I'm working on something and I'll hear a riff or I'll hear a drum sample or I'll hear a hi-hat and it will take me totally somewhere else. And no matter how hard I try to focus, it's like, no, I'll veer off, but it usually ends up pretty dope. So, I can't complain.
So I just want to clarify. So this is what I heard and you correct me if I'm wrong. So it's not that you have fully retired from production.
Right.
It's that a lot of the artists now are not in tune enough with their sound to master their craft, and they are not worthy of a Rob Young track.
I'm not gonna say all that. I would say
I know I would say all of that. I would say that.
I would say, again, to me, production is tedious. Some people mixing is tedious. I love
Very true.
Mix. I absolutely love it. I will listen to a song 1,000,000 times and try to get it right. And until I get it where I think it's right. My family can attest. They will hear a song. If I'm working on a song for an artist, if I'm working on a mix, they're like, I've heard that song 1,000 times just today. And it's because I'm trying to, perfect it. And I love it. I will sit there 8 hours mixing on a song if I have to. It's just, I love that part of it. Production, I like it, but I don't love it. So,
Gotcha.
And again, with, this whole internet movement, all these producers, it's a lot of dope producers out there. It's so many producers, it's ridiculous. And you can get these beats for little or nothing. And so, I choose to go that route and just expand on what I'm hearing because I hear a lot of dope tracks that I want to work on. And that's usually what I'll do. So that it just makes for more material from me.
That's very true too. And I think a spinoff question I have is how important do you think it is to give these producers that opportunity? A lot of times breaking into this game, it's not necessarily what you know, but who you know to get that opportunity.
Yeah.
So like you said, by not sticking with just the guys that you know are hands-on, always going to produce for you and giving somebody else a chance, how important do you think that is?
It's super important in my opinion. But my whole approach to music is I'm looking for a sound. Like I've been in the game for a long time, like I said, 20 plus years, and I just released my first single. Why? Because I was looking for a sound. You know, a lot of artists they think, oh, I gotta get this music out now. I gotta put this out. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And that was not my thing. I've had several songs that I thought were potentially hits, several concepts that other artists have used and have made hits. And I'm kicking myself, but at the end of the day, I was looking for a sound. Um, and I think I found my sound, and from this point on, I'm gonna keep pushing. But to go back to your question, yeah, it's definitely important. I do have a team, and I use my team all the time. But it's from the same aspect. We always looking for different sounds and different ways to create different types of music because we don't want to create the same thing that everybody else is creating. Like I just can't
Beautiful.
do that, man. Like that's not in me. So
Beautifully put. Beautifully put. And I think that is very important. A lot of people, we are inspired by artists and we hear what they do and we want to kind of gimmick their sound instead of taking it and creating something of our own influenced by it.
mhm.
So I'm absolutely glad you brought that up. But I'm gonna give you a break for a second, Rod, because I heard the Queen grunt when you said something about your process. So we gonna give her a chance to chime in here. Queen Rocks, how are you, ma'am?
I'm good. I'm great. Glad to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So Rob said he admitted that Step, the single that everybody should go download right now
Right now.
and stream right now, and then tell their mama to download it right after they download it.
Mhm.
You directed this video.
I did.
Awesome. So first project from Rob, and you directed it. What was that moment like? Like, what is your creative process going into the first Rob Young official single?
Well, for me, I know Rob Young intimately. I've known him since 1984.
Oh, she
Um,
went way back.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we have a very solid history. I know and I understand his creative process, and I know that he's a perfectionist. I know that he wants what he wants when it comes to his music, and you know, living in the house with him, I get to witness him practice his craft and strengthen his craft and love on his passion for music and creating and singing and songwriting. So I get a front row window seat to what he does and how he does it. So when he wrote Step and he played it for me and some of our friends, and my creative process started then because I'm a lover of music. I'm a lover of the process of creating music. I love rhythm. I love dancing. I love movement. I'm all of those things. So when I heard Step, I was like, oh, this is, yeah, this is right up my alley. And so months before we decided to do a video, I would listen to the song, listen to it every day. And I was like, my God, this has a beautiful vibe to it. It's a great dance track, great, giving great energy. It's a positive song. And so my creative process is when I'm driving, when I'm alone, and I'm always playing music. So I listen to the song over and over and over.
Right.
And I realized it was a track that made me smile a lot. Man, this makes me feel right. The energy is good. So we were sitting at home one night, one Thursday night, I know specifically. It was late, watching TV, and he's playing around with his phone and he plays the song. And I sat up and I said, we need to do a video. And he was like, I haven't released the song yet. I don't know. I said, no, we need to do a video and I'm going to help you. And he was like, oh, really? So tell me what you're going to do. And so I explained to him how often I listen to the song, and I gave him my concept, my idea, and I just really I had to feel it. I had to feel it in my spirit, and I felt that song in my spirit. This is a great, positive, Black excellent song. I see beautiful Black and brown people having a great time, celebrating each other, celebrating in the moment, living, loving, being happy. And this was, we're coming off the pandemic. A lot of bad things had already happened. And this was the opportunity to create something and create a visual that would exude happiness and Black excellence and positive, uplifting spirits. So to go back to your question, when I started the creative process for Step, I knew that was what I wanted to deliver. I talked it over with Rob and asked him if that was okay, and he was like, "Hey, this is you. This is all you." I was like, "Okay, you sure? If it's all me, it's all me." And
Yes.
I just kind of sat on it and marinated and really opened my heart to an authentic way of thinking about it and how could I make it come across as those characteristics that I spoke of earlier. So for me, I have to sit on the song. I have to listen to it. It has to touch me
Right.
spiritually. It has to touch my emotions. And that was one thing. If I remember looking back through all my notes that I was writing, and the common theme was give me an emotion. Give me good energy and give me an emotion. And Step gives me an emotion. Like even now, even though I've heard it 1,002 times, every time I hear it, I'm smiling and I get that emotion of happiness and fulfillment. And so that helped in my process. Number one, when you have a creative process, if the track is good, then it makes it easier.
It definitely makes it easier.
You can definitely attest to that.
Absolutely 1000% being a music video director. When the music is good, it makes the job so much easier. Absolutely. Now you remember what time it was and the day it was.
Yes.
When the idea came to you. So that tells me that you have a great attention for detail. So can you talk about the attention to the details that you specifically put into the music video?
Yeah, I can. I have notes and notes and notes and notes and notes and scratches and this is not gonna work. This is gonna work. I enjoy writing. And then Rob, he's like, why don't you just type it on the computer or put it in your phone? I have to write it. I have to write it so it's real and so that it resonates with my mind, body, and spirit. If I write it and I read it, either it looks good, it feels good, or it doesn't. As far as paying close attention to detail, like I literally wrote out every second of the video, just in theory, right? Because you have to have a thought. You have to have something to hold on to. You have to have your framework. This is what I want to hold on to. This is what I want to stay true to. Even if I can't accomplish all of these things on this list for every second, at least I have it up here, the feel that I'm looking for. And so my business partner, Joe, she and I would get together and talk and exchange notes. And I'm, writing things down. I'm showing her, what I want to have, like literally starting from the budget all the way down to wardrobe, all the way down to the food, like just
you did a full treatment.
I did the full treatment, makeup, wardrobe, equipment, food.
And I will interject real quickly because I told her, and she knew this, but sometimes you just verbalize it because you're doing something that's super important. And I said, I don't want a homeboy video. Like we're not just gonna go somewhere and shoot a video. We have to plan this out to the T.
Everything.
I want everything. Like it has to be done top notch. Regardless of the cost. That's what I want to do because that's how I approach things. And she absolutely blew it out of the water.
We're husband and wife, but we were business.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to be that way.
We kept everything business. We set up meetings. We had conference calls. We had brainstorming sessions. We went to breakfast. We did the budget. Yeah, we were eating, but we were like, no, this is not going to work. This will work. And I'm like, hey, let's use this surplus for this. Like we literally went line for line. And I made sure that it was cleared with him before I made a final decision. Even though he gave me, tons of creative control, it's still his record that we are trying to portray to the public. So
right.
I wanted to make sure the detail aligned with his thought process, and I wanted to make sure the detail aligned with the vision of the song. And I literally, when when we were even picking out wardrobe, I picked out wardrobe for some of the ladies, and I'm running upstairs. Rob, does this work for you? Do you feel like this is a good look for it? You know.
So
What you're gonna be
Rob,
wearing?
you got to check off every
Yeah.
every
And I wanted him-
aspect of the process.
And I wanted him to check off every box. I wanted him to check off.
You know, that's how it should be, honestly. Unless, you know, you just get, like, you know, you got big budget artists or whatever who have, they got a person for everything.
Right.
But, you know, at this level, I thought that was really, really cool because she did, like, she would show me a dress for one of the dancers and like, okay, does this work? Do you like this one or is it this one? And I was like, I mean, it was literally like I was in Hollywood somewhere at a casting agency, you know, speaking with someone, you know, who's been doing this for 20 years. And then I was just totally amazed. A lot of times I would just sit there and look at her because I was like, okay, she is doing all this. She did a treatment. She had never done a treatment before. And treatment was crazy. You know, this was her first time directing. Like, first time. Now, she's done a lot of events and things of that nature, but in terms of a visual video, this was the very first one. And I'm telling you, it turned out like, oh my God.
It was stellar. Music video production like this was absolutely the most professional and the most organized and well-run video shoot I have ever been on. It set the precedent for myself very high to where I went on social media and was like, look, can't get me without the team. Moving forward, it's not happening. It's not happening because we need this type of detail. Mm-hmm. You know, we need this type of help to be able to pull off the vision that the artist want. So time-wise, and this question is for you, Ms. Rox, how much time did you put into planning and managing this video? Like for hiccups or any unforeseen challenges that would happen. Like, go briefly talk about that to help me explain it to the people that just basically don't want to pay for it.
Oh yeah.
Let's just be transparent. This is
I'll
OnSight.
tell you this. In my regular 9 to 5, I work 10 hours a day. So I work my 4 days, I work my 10 hours. After my 10 hours, have dinner, then I go to work for Rob Young, right?
Mm-hmm.
That work went from maybe 6:30 p.m. until maybe 1:30 a.m. At least 3 nights a week. And for sure, every Saturday and Sunday.
So you basically got off work to go back to work.
Go back to work.
Absolutely.
On Sunday mornings, I was up at 5:30 looking for locations, scouting locations online to schedule to go visit the location, which was for us in a whole nother state. We knew we wanted 2 locations. So we visited 3 or 4 different places in Charlotte and Concord and, you know, trying to coordinate that, but also coordinating a casting call. Because I told Rob, I said, listen, I just don't want to grab people and ask them to be in the video. Let's do this, not just the professional way, the right way, and do a casting call for talent and for extras. I don't care if they're our friends, neighbor, best friend. If they want to be in the video, they have to clear casting.
Right.
And so we did it that way. And that was a great way for us to actually pay closer attention to detail, because we were able to see the people, have one-on-ones with the people, have group Zoom calls, everything. Folks were not shy about telling us what they were comfortable doing or not doing. And so that made it easy. But we put a lot of time and effort. And because we wanted to deliver a great video for Rob, it was important for me because I live with the man. It was important for me to get it right.
I know that's right.
The first time.
No, we ain't need you going ham on the Rob. Okay. All right, so let's get into the record. This is the meat. Step, the single. Again, go download that joint right now. When I listen to the joint, it instantly gives me an old school, you know, summertime barbecue, family cookout type feel. Mm-hmm. So, what was your influence, or what was your inspiration behind writing the record? Or
basically, I got the track from a producer, a colleague of mine. Shout out Funky Mix Productions. We've done some collaborations over the last maybe 5 or so years. And when he sent me the track, um, I love the music, but I really did not like the drums. I was like, I really can't do anything with this. I said, well, let me see if I can change the drums up, and maybe move on from there. So I had him to send me the stems, and I started working on some drums, and I finally came up with some drums. I was like, wow, this feels really good. So then I started writing the song. I wrote all the verses and the bridge, and it felt really good. It continued to progress. Got to the hook, and I kind of got stuck. And I came up with 2 or 3 different hooks. I was like, nah, that's not it, man. So I reached out to another colleague of mine, actually from the Santrap, Sean Ellis, aka Sean Perignon. And I said, look, man, I need a hook, man, for this track I'm working on. I said, I know you can do it. And he was like, oh man, send it over. So I sent it over to him, and 5 minutes later, he sends it back to me. He sends me the lyrics and a voice note. And I'm like, oh man, that's it. It was it. I mean, so I recorded it. I put my flavor on the hook with some harmonies, and I actually created a post hook for it as well. And the next thing you know, I got a song. And the more I played it, the better I felt about it. I probably recorded 5 different versions of it before I was completely satisfied.
That's the perfectionist right there.
With the song itself and the arrangement and everything. And then I began the mix process. And that probably took me a week, because again, I'm a perfectionist. And that's probably, like, for me, like, I know I've been in Atlanta 13 years, so I've been to a few major studios in the area, and Patchworks, Soul Asylum, which is closed now, but a few other studios. And I talk to these mix engineers, and they're like, yeah, I can mix a song in 8 hours, or some say 4 hours. I don't think I've ever mixed a song in that short amount of time. Like, I will revisit a song, oh my God, 50, 60 times, just listening to it and thinking, okay, what can I do to push this song a little bit higher? So I mixed on it for probably about a week, and I said, okay, I think we're done. And started just listening and listening, make sure I was finished. And then I went to Kitchen Mastering up in Carborough. Shout out Brent Lambert. He is, if you want to get your song mastered correctly, you gotta holler at Brent, holler at the kitchen. My song has an HD stamp on Amazon. It has a master stamp on Apple Music, on Tidal, which means, and I see songs from major labels that don't have those stamps on. So, that's as much a part of the process as anything, like getting the correct mastering, getting your stuff to sound like these other songs sound that you hear, that you like so much, that you want your song to sound like. You got to get a good mix first and foremost, and you got to get a great master. So, yeah, and once I did that, I put it on platforms. I didn't really do a lot of hoopla about it in terms of release, because my whole plan was basically to put it out top of the year, sometime in January, and push it through the summer. Because being an independent artist, you got to have a plan. Like, you can't just think you're going to put music out and everybody's going to jump on it. Because
Right.
only your people are going to really know. Your reach is only so far. So that was my plan, and I think it's coming together beautifully, because we are gaining some momentum. I think by June, it'll be even further than it is now. And with the visual that we have coming, I think that's going to, push it even further. So, that was my plan. I just wanted to create a song that felt good, because of, a lot going on right now in the world. I'm not trying to be a savior or anything like that, but I just wanted something that felt good. And, I think I accomplished that.
True, no gas. I think this is one of those songs that will be around and will be played every year, just like when you go to the family cookout, you hear Frankie Beverly and Maze. Like, this is that type of vibe. So, musicians, what musicians do you admire?
To me, that's always a loaded question, because I could name so many. There's some that are well known, a lot that are not as well known. Like I said, I'm just a
Let's talk
love
about the
music.
not well-known artists. Because I seen an interview with Jay-Z where he was talking about Shuggy Otis, and I had never heard of Shuggy
Man,
Otis.
I love Shuggy Otis.
You see what I'm saying? So let's talk about the unheard of artists.
Shuggy Otis. I mean, some artists are unknown to maybe people that we have been associated with or that we know. I listen to a lot of Brazilian funk music.
Yeah.
I listen to oh my gosh. I've listened to rap music from New Zealand. I listen to oh my gosh, everything, man. I mean, I'm just a fan of great music. Like it's hard for me to say that I don't like someone's music. I don't think there's any like one artist that I can say, oh, I hate his music. Like I don't that's just how much I love music because I can find something in there that I like.
Right. Right.
And that's my thing. Like when you asked me that question, I was like, "Dad, he asked me the question," because I probably got 1,000 in the back of my mind right now, but ain't none of them coming to the front because I listen to so much music. Like, yeah,
you were inspired by the music, not necessarily the creator. Right. Is what you're saying.
Absolutely. I mean, I what's the album? Sergio Mendes. Oh, yeah. Have you heard of Sergio Mendes?
I have never heard of Sergio Mendes.
Listen to his album, Timeless. Listen to Doobie Doo. What's the name of that group?
Sergio Mendes, Timeless.
See, if he hadn't asked us, we could name it. But they're out of South Africa. It's a South African band, and the lead singer is a African lady, and I think most of the band are white South Africans. But when I tell you, the music is amazing. Like it's just different. And that's what I like different music. So I'm all over the place musically.
But we kind of see how that, like what is it, Afro beat, that sound, Tim's, Wizkid, those artists are kind of taking over the airwaves now. So it's definitely a different vibe. It's most definitely a different vibe.
Yes.
I started Santrap during the pandemic. My parents bought me this candle kit to keep me busy, but my love for crafting quickly turned it into a business. Each candle is 100% soy wax with hemp wicks. Hand poured and made with love. This is the part of the script where my dad would say to buy some candles, but you're gonna do that anyways. Help support future pilot.
I want to say it was like 2011, 2012. I remember you helping me. I would send my mixes to you. Okay. And you would grade me, yo, Trail, this mix is all right. You need to work on X, Y, Z, yada, yada, yada. Like you were really influential for me to keep going. Okay. Not having or not going to an actual school to learn music production. You created music for a long time. Let's talk about the always on point roster, A-Out Music.
Okay. I wouldn't say I have a roster. I work with a lot of artists, and my whole thing is independence. Some people want to be under umbrella. For me, I help out anybody. Like if I see that you're willing to put in the work and you want to put in the work and you want to create great music, I'll help you in any way I can. I've never signed an artist ever. I've never had paperwork on any artist that I've ever worked with. And that's not bad business on my part. It's just I want you to be independent. I want you to be able to be on your own, stand on your own, to do the things that you need to do to be successful as an artist. Yes, I'm going to help you, but I don't have to in any kind of way try to control you or say you need to do this because you're assigned to me. Like, I just don't want that kind of power over anybody's career. Even my own son, like I will advise him, from top to bottom. I'll do anything I can, but I want him to be his own artist. And some people will say that's not smart, but at the end of the day, I want you to be responsible for yourself. I'm gonna make sure that I'm positioned in the right way that's fair to me and fair to you as an artist. But I do not want to be fully responsible for your career. And I think a lot of labels do that. And then that's, you get a lot of artists who are unhappy with their situation and so on and so forth. I'm really from the old school. I started in music like, of course, you start in the church. You know, we pretty much all start in the church, singing in the
Right.
choir, doing, whatever our parents and our, elders told us to do in the church. But in terms of urban music, I started DJing when I was 10 years old. My sister's boyfriend at the time, rest in peace, Gary Parker, he taught me how to DJ. And that, coming from that side of it, it touches me because he didn't ask me for no money. He didn't say, you need to do XYZ. He was like, you want to learn how to DJ? I'm going to teach you how to DJ. He let me come over to his house, and I'm 10 years old. I'm a kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Most kids ain't taking that seriously. And most older people, they know that. But I took it seriously. Like, I really wanted to do that. He taught me how to do it. I DJ'd my first club gig when I was 11. So
you knew early on, like you knew at 10 that you were going to be in the music industry.
Yes, in some way, form, or fashion.
Nice.
So, and for me, I want to do the same thing for others that he did for me, because he really put a spark in me by teaching me, just letting me sit with him and watch him DJ, and then saying, hey, come on, I want you to do it. I'm going to show you how to scratch. I'm going to show you how to mix. I'm going to show you what the fader is. I'm going to show you how to cue it and all that stuff. And I'm 10 years old and he's like 17, 18. So for me, it's important to pass on what I know. And, I'm not knocking nobody's hustle, man. Like, get your money, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But also, you got to help other people out. Like, that, to me, that's
true
part
indeed.
Of
True indeed.
And just, I just want to teach others what I know about the business, about the industry, how to make moves and how to do certain things. I'm not saying that I'm, always right or that I have the perfect plan for you. It's definitely not one size fits all, but I will advise you in the best way that I think is going to be beneficial for you. And, that's just my thing. Like, I don't mind taking time out to do stuff like that.
Can I interject, please?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Rob is an incredible mentor. Like, I had a coworker whose son was going to Northwestern and he was studying music and he had questions about different recording software. And I mentioned it to Rob. He was like, oh, have him to call me.
Right.
And I was like, really? You don't even know this kid? But I said, okay. Got the number, introduced them. And, he mentored this young man for, several months. And I was like, my gosh, like you're being really humble right now, but I'm going to go ahead and toot you all the way up because
I agree. Same thing with me.
I'm a witness to it.
Yes.
And you really do give your all to people and you really do want other artists to be their best. And he's always, telling people about different software and where they can go get training. And if you want to come over to the studio, I'll record you or I can tell you where to go get, your mixes and masters. And, oh, I know about this open mic or this person may be helpful in the craft that you have for music, whether it's an instrument or your voice or writing. Because of your love for what you do, it transcends and you're able to share it with other people. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And we don't see a lot of that exchange between people nowadays. And I admire you for that. And I'm glad that our children have you as a role model and see you and can witness you doing that as well. And that's how, I knew I had to give you something that was good because you're so good to other people and you deserved to have a team, the team that we created of people to ensure that your step video is a success. So, like I said, I come from that cloth. I mean, I take it back further than music. I was at Vacation Bible School at Star Hope Baptist.
Whoa,
yes.
Wow.
And
wow.
Mr. John Chalmers taught me how to build a
Uncle
birdhouse.
John.
And I have that birdhouse still. It's still in my parents' storage building.
That is priceless.
I will never forget that because it's stuff like that shows me, okay, dude, like you can show people how to do things. Like you can teach them, you can tell them, you can, but if you're hands-on with them and you can tell them, that will stick with them forever. And I will never forget when he showed me, like I can see him right now. I can see looking up at him and him just right there with me with the hammer, with the nails, with the woods, teaching me down in the fellowship hall how to build a birdhouse and stuff like that sticks with me. And I want other people to feel like that, like somebody cares about them enough to teach them. And I had several people in my life to do that, including him, my father, of course, I mean, people that are still with me, my brother-in-law Vincent Cameron, he will. I will ask him to fix my car, and he'll be like, "No, I will show you how to fix it yourself, so you can do it later on."
Right.
We need to get back to that. Like, we got to get back to that, man. Like, it's. I mean,
that's how we build.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
how
Absolutely.
we build, man. We got to get back to that for real.
I honestly don't even know where to go after that. So what's next? What's next for Rob Young? What's next for AOP?
For next, what's next?
What comes after the high of Step, the visual masterpiece, the behind the scenes? After we've danced all summer long, like what's the encore?
Hopefully we will dance forever. But I do have
that's right.
I do have more music coming. I will say this: I am independent, fully 100% independent. I'm not gonna be bound by any standard set by industry that don't really care about me. So if I don't release another song for another year, just know that's my plan. That's how I want to do it, and I'm always like gonna do it how I want to do it. I have so much music, man. Like over the years, I have a whole bunch of music. But
yes,
and I plan on releasing some of that music. But I also plan on creating new music. I have a lot of artists that I'm working with right now. Of course, a lot of phone calls coming in from artists that want to work. And I just plan on to keep continuing to create and to mentor artists, try to help artists. I just wanna keep it pushing. As a youngin', I started out wanting to be rich and famous, like everybody else. And then as I got older, my priorities started changing. Then I wanted just to be rich. I didn't really want to be famous. And then from rich, start having kids, got married, and I was like, I just want to sustain. I just want to be able to make a living making music. If I couldn't do that, I'd have been okay. But I think I put in enough work and I worked hard enough to get to that level. And I'm going to be completely honest, I could not have done it without my wife because she has always supported me. When I wanted to stop, not necessarily stop making music, but when I wanted to, I was like, look, I'm just going to go ahead and get a corporate, I got a degree, I can go get a corporate job. She was like, no, you can't do that. You cannot stop. You got to keep going.
Absolutely.
And I definitely appreciate her for that, for continuing to push me and support me. Because that right there, man, especially if you are married, if home is not happy, then you in trouble. So
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have somebody that's supporting your dream, you're also in trouble. Your dream pretty much is gonna die. Because, it's gonna cause issues. But she always supported me, always had my back, always, pushed me. Anything I needed,
I pushed and pulled.
Yeah.
Because we moved to Atlanta. We moved to Atlanta because I took a job in Atlanta.
Right.
And, he was in the height of his, production career here. And I asked him to, let's move.
And I also had a real estate business that was pretty profitable. So
then I asked you I pulled you down to Atlanta, but you were willing.
I definitely was.
That's sacrifice.
So, because I also knew that there were opportunities there. And, Atlanta, of course, 2009, it was already popping. It was definitely already popping, but nothing like it is now. And I knew there were opportunities there. So, it really wasn't all about that. It was all about me supporting her because she's always supported me. So it's definitely give and take. And, it's worked out. And I got to shout you out too, because you sent people to me.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to King Be the God.
King Be the God. Listen, we gonna put him on blast right now. Like cause you got that album. Listen,
I do.
I've heard a bunch of tracks off.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I do.
When is the album come? Like if I gotta come to Georgia and see y'all.
We are working on it now. Actually I just talked to him earlier, not too long ago. And we're kind of like in the final stages, getting everything prepped to release it. I've been on him too because sometimes he can be indecisive. Yes, I'm talking about
Yes, we are talking about you, Brody. That's my brother, but
he's like me. He's a perfectionist.
Yes, he is.
But sometimes he overthinks, and I got to get him to stop doing that because he's a phenomenal artist.
The world
Yeah.
needs both of you gentlemen's gifts. So we're glad that you're putting out music. And Brody, come on, guy.
Yeah.
Come on. The world needs this music.
Maji is a Charlotte, North Carolina-based Black, veteran-owned and operated premium bottled water experience. Our name comes simply from the Swahili word for water. Maji's motto is drink clear, think clear. Drinking water keeps our brain from having to fight against the effects of dehydration. You can follow us online at Maji Drip and our website, MajiH2O.com.
You are a mastering engineer, right? Well, you have your master's degree.
I have a master certification from Berkeley School of Music.
From Berkeley, the
Yeah.
big boy.
Mhm.
In audio production, music production.
Audio production and technology.
Okay, so
And my undergrad, my bachelor's from University of North Carolina. Go Heels.
go Heels.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that is right. You were a Tar Heel.
Yes.
Well, hold on.
Uh-oh.
We're not going to finish this without mentioning
Yes.
Winston-Salem State
That my
University.
wife.
Oh,
yes, she has
SU
Yes,
all
yes.
day,
her
okay?
bachelor's from Winston
Yes, go
State,
Rams.
and she has her master's from
University of
University.
Phoenix.
Got to shout out to HBCU. Got to.
Absolutely.
Got to
All
shout
day.
them out.
SU.
Beautiful. So today's music,
Mhm.
I'm taking it. You have a master's or a certification.
Mhm.
You can play instruments. Nowadays, to produce music, you don't necessarily have to know how to play music. You need
Right.
to know how to program on
Right.
a computer.
right.
Is this a disadvantage to musicians nowadays, the programming versus learning the weight of the keys on that piano?
Right. I think it's just a different route. I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage. It still takes brain power. However you
Very
do it.
true.
It's just like I can't even remember who it was, but whoever created the 808, they weren't necessarily a musician. They were very intelligent, and they knew that a sound wave, in addition to the kick, would create a different sound. It would create a fuller sound, and it would create a resonating sound. I don't think it's a disadvantage. I just think it's a different route. I'll even take it back to the whole auto-tune thing. When T-Pain, came to, when he became so famous, a lot of people were kind of upset. Oh, he can't sing and this, that, and the other. But I went deeper and I listened to the harmonies he was creating.
Right.
He might not have been able to sing them perfectly like it sounded, but he still had to come up with those in his head.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that in itself is talent. One thing I learned at Berkeley is there's a whole industry of people who just produce vocals, who just go into the studio and tell a singer how to sing the vocal, what to sing. It's not a vocal coach, it's a vocal producer. They say, oh, sing it this way, add breath. Don't add so much breath. Sing this harmony in this key, add this harmony in this key. And that's a whole thing. That's an industry, job. When people get paid really great money to do that, they may not be able to sing as well as the person that they are producing, but they have that ear where they can hear what should come next, what riff should go here. And, anytime you have an artist who is open to listen to those people, it just makes that product better. So, creating music requires, it's not a singular thing. Like, it requires a team. Like, in my opinion, it does,
Absolutely.
because there's always somebody who will hear something different than you hear it. It might not mean it's better, but at least you get a different perspective, and it might improve what you've done. It might not, but you have, it's up to you whether or not you choose to utilize that. But it's definitely a team industry where I think the more great minds you have, the better product you can come up with.
You said it's a lot of cats that's ringing your phone now.
Mhm.
And again, you are a Santrap legend. So I hope I'm not putting you on the spot. But if there was one artist
Mhm.
from the trap that has not hit your phone yet that you think is buzzing, that should, hit your phone, who would that artist or those artists be?
From the trap.
From the trap.
Man. Like, I don't know a lot of artists from the trap. I've heard, about some artists. I've heard some great things about some artists.
Well, I won't make it too difficult on you. We'll just say a independent then.
I would say I think you related to him. The Leak. Felipe,
yes, sir.
I've heard a lot of good things about him.
Philip Leak, monster.
I've heard
Shout out to Phil
about him. So yeah, I would definitely. I'm work with everybody, but to answer your question, I think I would.
Yeah, we trying to put the pressure on the boys to step their game on us. This is on site, baby.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I like I said, I've heard a lot of great things about him. I've heard some of his music, and it's really good. It's great. Not to downplay it by any means. But yeah, I think we could probably make something pretty dope.
You being an audio engineer, you definitely have to be a technology guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the one piece of technology, excluding your cell phone, that you have to have absolutely whenever you leave home?
When I leave home,
Now, we've gotten some really great answers to this question, too. It could be, don't overthink it. It could be something as simple.
Well, I would say my iPad, because I do a lot of stuff with that as well.
That's a creative tool. Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely create with that. And not only do I create with it, our 11-year-old son is an artist, and I just bought him this stylus pen, whatever it is, and he's creating some pretty dope drawings.
Nice.
So we create together, and actually he's working on artwork for our oldest son, Queso Bands. Shout out Queso Bands for his next single release. So that's gonna be pretty dope. To have him to do that creative.
But did you see? I think they missed that. That went straight over their head. Repeat what you just said for the people that didn't catch it. Your 11-year-old is an artist creating art for the other musician that's in the family.
Right.
We gonna keep all this money in the house.
We trying, man. We trying to. So yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. That's beautiful.
Just trying to, allow them to be creative. Well, my oldest son, he's grown. He's 21, about to be 22. So, we just always want them to be creative and continue to create for as long as they can. It's funny because our oldest, Queso, he asked Kamari, which is our youngest, to create the cover for him. He was like, I want you to create this cover for my next single. Kamari's like, okay, yeah, sure. And then Kamari's running
That's
around.
Even better. I wonder what the pressure was like for that, though.
Kamari's running around like asking, hey, Mom, can I do a new the logo for your company? And so he's really, really into it. And, we're just super happy that, he wants to create.
You should tell him about what he did at school after we did the video.
Come on, let's go ahead and promote your future artist.
Oh yeah, he's a future entrepreneur. Like
business manager.
He's at school promoting the single, promoting the video, talking to they have different companies coming to the school and do like career stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, my dad does this, and you need to link up with my dad. Like he is like really
nice.
Into it.
This is his social media. You should go here and listen to Step.
Yeah, it's like, showing the teachers how to do the dance. Like it is. He is on it.
You got the street team already. Absolutely. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. And it's all influenced by the work that you guys do. So they see the greatness, they see the inspiration and the passion coming from y'all, and it can only translate down, and that's what the expectation is. So, our children pick up what we give them. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Rob Young, you a baseball guy.
Yeah, I'm a baseball guy. Yeah.
You're a baseball guy.
Definitely to the bone. I always play sports. I always been athletic, but baseball ended up being my thing. I think I like football better. I just was not as good as it as I was baseball. And basketball, I was good enough to play. I was good enough to make the team. So, but yeah, man, I'm hardcore baseball. Drafted out of high school, Cincinnati Reds. Played at UNC Chapel Hill. Played a couple years professional ball after that. I really hated to hang it up, but had some things that I needed to take care of back here. And I was happy to do so. Unhappy that I had to kind of give it up, but family. When it's family, man, you got to take care of family. So
I just think it's the life transitions. Like we go through different phases. So
Absolutely.
you went through your sports phase.
Yeah.
You're an artist now. You're a family man. You're an entrepreneur. We go through different phases, and
Absolutely, yeah.
the next phase you'll be raising and watching younger entrepreneurs. So
Yep.
it's beautiful, beautiful.
You're also going to be recognized. in
Oh
April.
yeah. Coming up April
28th.
28th, my jersey will be honored by Lee Senior.
Nice.
So hopefully.
So now it's official. Lee County High School is retiring your jersey.
Now you can hang.
All the work that you've done for the urban and the hip hop community and the music community in the Santrap, it's official. Y'all heard it first. OnSight
OnSight, you heard it.
Rob Young.
Because I have not
He has not
announced
announced
it publicly yet.
is a legend.
Yeah.
Rob Young is officially a legend.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man.
There it is.
So,
So anybody you want to shout out or big up before we get out of this interview?
man, I just want to shout out everybody who's been down with me from day one. I don't want to call out no names because I'll forget somebody because it's been so many people. I'm just so appreciative for all the love and support y'all have given me over the years. To my family, to my wife, my kids, just everybody, man. Like your whole team, because you don't have to do this, man. Like I appreciate this. Like I told you in our phone conversation, man, I'm following what you guys are doing. I appreciate what you guys are doing, and I hope that it continues to grow and grow and grow. Because we need this. We need to recognize, people who are doing things in this community, and we'll definitely, I'm sure you'll expand out, but we gotta take care of home first and foremost.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to come back and do this. But yeah, I just want to shout out everybody, man, that just been down with me from day one. I've been doing this a long time. People been on me about releasing some stuff and doing more as an artist. And I think I'm finally at that place where I'm going to be doing that. I'm still going to be, mentoring and helping other artists. If you just need to ask me a question, anything, man, just get at me. All my social media, Rob Young Music, MUZIK, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Just hit me up, man, and I'll help you out any way I can. But again, man, I just want to say thank you to everybody. And you guys keep up the great work you're doing, and let's just keep pushing this thing because, we got some really, really, really dope artists here in Sanford.
Absolutely.
And surrounding areas, and everybody needs to be heard, and it's room for everybody to be heard. It really is, man. Whether you think so or not, it really is. So let's just keep going.
Absolutely.